We've all been there. It's usually after a long week and you've had enough. You need to address an issue with your spouse, neighbor, or even a friend. The issue has been bugging you for a while, but you've been procrastinating talking about it because, well, it might cause some conflict. But something has triggered you and you've had enough. 10 minutes later, you're on a full-on argument, regretting you said anything at all. In this video, we're going to learn how to check in and plan for the best time to have those difficult conversations. My name is Laura, founder of Hope Made Strong. We equip you and your ministry team as you support and care for others in your community. Conflict in relationships is difficult. You want to clear the air, but having hard and challenging conversations is uncomfortable. Many people try to avoid conflict as much as possible, but there are times when you just need to talk it out. I want to introduce you to an acronym called HALT, H-A.L.T. It stands for hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. It's a quick and easy reminder that if you feel any of these, you should stop, halt, immediately, and meet those needs prior to having those difficult conversations. Essentially, you shouldn't have a meaningful or potentially conflict-inducing conversation at the end of a workday, before you eat dinner, after sitting alone in your home office all day, and you had a bad night's sleep the night before. That is pretty much a recipe for disaster. But that is what we do almost every time. We avoid difficult conversations when you're feeling good, but when you're stressed or you've had enough and you're agitated and tired, we blurt out what is deep inside because we can't keep it in anymore. And what is the usual outcome? Offense, hurt feelings, and blowing things out of control. It's natural to want to avoid conflict, and if things are going good, why wreck them and bring up an issue that might disrupt this good vibe going on? However, if we or the person we're talking to are in a halted state, they're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, then you can bet the outcome would likely be more conflict. When you're in the halted state, you are much more likely to react to situations than to respond to situations. You are already in a state of stress, so your body and mind are in full defensive mode. And as we discussed in the video of flipping your lid, your brain is no longer processing information with the logic center. You are much more likely to be reactive than responsive. The first step is being self-aware and recognizing when you're in a halted state. Now, we can thank the 90s for something. That's when the word hangry really became part of our vocabulary and boosted awareness of the emotional impacts of being hungry. Now it's adopted into the English dictionary. Hangry is a commonly understood concept of being agitated as a result of being hungry. Anger is a secondary emotion. What I mean by that is that when we feel angry, we're actually feeling that way as a result of feeling threatened. Ever heard of the fight, flight, freeze response? Well, anger is a fight response. We feel threatened or challenged, and so we respond with anger. When we're in this state, our logic center of the brain is hijacked with a flood of endorphins, and we don't process information the same way. We react without thinking logically or about consequences. Ever said something in the heat of the moment only to later regret it? Yeah, that is the adrenaline hijack. So when you're feeling angry, use the old phrase, if you got nothing good to say, better to say nothing at all. 2020 is the year the world felt lonely. But we don't need to be in the middle of a global pandemic and restricted social isolation to feel lonely. You can feel lonely in a crowded room. Loneliness is about connection. And when we lose that connection, we're emotionally impacted. We are created to be in relationship with others. And I'm not talking about an extrovert versus an introvert, but about having those relationship needs met, however big or small they are. If you find yourself feeling lonely or disconnected with the person you're needing to talk to, first find some common ground. Find a way to connect with them. Or if necessary, have your relationship needs met prior to talking with them. When we're lonely, we can be easily hurt, offended, and often feel attacked. And none of these feelings produce positive results. Tired isn't just about having enough sleep. We can become worn out from a hard day and need downtime to replenish. When you're tired, your judgment is impaired and you have poor concentration. When you're tired, you're not at your best self, and you and the other person on the other end of the conversation deserves your best. So when you find yourself in a halted state, stop, practice self-care or soul care, and meet those needs. And prior to having a challenging conversation, check in with yourself and reflect on the other person. Are you or they in a halted state? If so, be intentional to meet those needs and plan a time to connect later. Thanks and take care.